Hello everybody, it's Mich here and welcome to my channel. Today is July 1st, so happy Canada Day for all my fellow Canadians. Today I thought I would start the Junk Journal July 2024. It's a challenge that goes on this month, and the one that I'm doing is the prompts have been set by Meg Journals and the hashtag would be Junk Journal July 2024. It's the first time I've kind of did a junk journal, that kind of a challenge, so it should be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post every day, but I will endeavor. I am on holiday a bit of this month. But what I thought that I would start with first is kind of my take on how my junk journal is going to go for July. So first of all, I tried to figure out what kind of journal that I wanted. Initially, I made this one by Be Valiant, which I first saw on Instagram, and then I embellished it, kind of made it my own. So what B showed was a little journal that I've got. You take, sorry, I thought I had my insert. Oh, here it is. So you take a 12 by 12, that's what she used anyway, and you made a bunch of inserts that look like this, okay? And then you fold them together, and then you glue them kind of onto a base. So I did that, and this is my front page. And then initially I just had like a few of them together. Cut this one off so that there's sort of a little pocket and a little flap. And so when I did it, I think I did about 3 of these. And then when I was thinking about Junk Journal July, I thought, oh, that would be a cute way just to work in a little different format. So then I added more. And then I added sort of pocket flips. So instead of it opening to like a book, I just did a stacked pocket. So there's the stacked pockets. And then when I had it on the base, I was like, well, how am I going to keep this all together? So that's when I created this cover, and then put just a magnetic little fastener, but it was still kind of not secure. So I love using hardware. So I just took a couple clips and just clipped the front and back, and it stays really secure. But I kind of thought this isn't really what I wanted, because as I started thinking about the Junk Journal July, what I thought that I would do is I would pair it with an affirmation. So these prompts you can get on Meg Journal's channel, and I will link the description box below. But I wanted to use July to maybe reset myself, to start thinking, about my affirmations again, as I feel maybe I've gotten a little bit away from spirit with being so busy. So I took 31 sort of affirmation ideas, and I put them in the spinner wheel that you can do online, which then randomly chooses a word, and I paired them with what the prompt is for that day. So for instance, today is July 1st. Meg's prompt is spark, and my affirmation or the intent of my page will be around joy. The affirmation may be spark, it may be joy, but I want it to do that page with intent. So I'm going to do the prompt around what my word of the day is, if that kind of makes sense. So in light of that, I thought, well, I'm just going to do the journal that Meg has shown on her channel. So she just did an accordion journal, which I did, and then I just used all my scraps to create the accordion. But again, I kind of thought, well, I want a cover, so I just took some watercolor paper, I made a little hinge there, and then I've just made a little cover, which I'll decorate at some point. So this is kind of what I'm going to be working. And there's at least 31 pages here, which would be the 31 days of the month. So with that said, I then thought, well, how am I going to do the daily prompts? Am I just going to do it sort of in a straight junk journal that I would If you saw my garden story, kind of that type of junk journal. But I wanted to get back to doing some mixed media. And I just thought it would be fun to go through some of my mixed media journals just to have an idea of some of the techniques that I might use. And so a lot of you know me as Collage with the Marguerite Miller or my Daphne's Diary, maybe a little bit along the junk journal lines as well. But I do a lot of mixed media, or at least I used to when I had more time. And I kind of thought it would be fun to go back to something like that. So this journal I did quite a while ago, and it's an A to Z. And I started though with mystery, because I think when I first started the journal, I was like, what am I going to do in this journal? So that's when I thought, I'm going to do A to Z. So I started with alchemy and just did different, this is tracing paper. And the alchemy, what I liked about that was not necessarily changing something into gold, but more of a transformation of transforming into something better. B was in beacon, and this I did with acrylics, compass, and my compass turns. And I just wanted to do just different things. So some things I experimented that was a fail, and some things I liked. I kind of thought this was interesting. I took foil and made sort of like I was in a space capsule looking out at the earth from outer space. So I kind of like that. Courage is grace under fire. This one here, everybody has their genie inside, so rub your lamp, and so on. So I just worked on it. Our jellyfish said there are no peanut butter fish. And like I said, some things I thought was successful, and some things, if I went back, I probably would change it. But it was all about playing. I really love this one. So I did this with a lot of some acrylics, stamping in the background. And I love doing the doodling. I really love that. I think I got this idea somewhere and then just ran with it. Those are my stamps, I believe. The stamp set. This is the places that I've lived, and it's so funny because I was born in Nova Scotia, which is there. We moved to Chicago when I was 1 year old or so. And then I moved to London, England, and it's all on the same trajectory. It's all like it's a straight line. And then I visited a lot of countries. What do you do with the X? Well, XOXO. This is all my craft stuff. And then I really like that. Don't let yesterday take too much of today. And then what's a Z? So I improvised and put ZN. And I love this one here too, because I created like an indoor scene with stamp sets and stamping and die cuts. And then if you look, you can see the little rabbit kind of peeking in the window and the tree. So then I thought it would be fun to sort of create that outside scene too. So that was that journal. I also, in 2021, I found Valerie Shodine, and I really love Valerie. I'll link her details in the description. Some of this is like she would set tutorials for the month, and some of it I just ran with, but I really loved how it ended up, and it was all like a gratitude journal. You could also use it. She had like the calendar month, but I don't really do the, I wasn't really doing the calendar in this one. So I kind of thought, well, yes, I want to add a little bit of the watercolor into this month. So kind of getting back to doing a little bit more watercolors. And I still love flipping through this journal. It just makes me happy. So yeah, so there's the watercolor one. I love books. I loved this one here. I designed that one myself. And she did all the monthly ones. And I think I designed that one. So yeah, so then there's the watercolor. And then I started doing, in 2022, what I call women of 1,000 faces. So I was just doing a lot of mixed media, acrylics or stenciling, gel mediums, texture pastes, and really I was just playing. And I started out, and when I look back, and I really don't like those first couple pages, but again, it's all just playing and learning. So these die cuts are from Art by Marlene, and so I was just playing and doing some mixed media. The way that I did this is I took the a watercolor, just a Canson watercolor, and I cut it down, and then, oh no, it's not watercolor. This was just a multimedia paper. It's a bit thinner than the watercolor. But I cut it down in size, and then I just took some black gesso and went around. And when I actually do my panels, I do them on 6.5 by 6.5 square, and then I just glue them in when I'm finished with my playing. So that's kind of ones that I have done in the past that I still have. Some of them I've not kept, or there's more on my shelf. And so yeah, so those are kind of some ideas. So for today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to use a stencil, because as soon as I saw, it's so funny, because as soon as I saw Joy and Spark, I knew the stencil that I wanted to use. And this is a stencil from Stencil Girl by Valerie Shodine. And this I first found when I was doing a little bit of Bible journaling. And it's great because they're skinny little panels that can fit on the side of your Bible. Now I've got this stuck on the back because I used a little bit of the Tombow glue. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not going to peel it off. But if you use a little bit of this Tombow on something and let it dry, it goes tacky. And once it's tacky, you can do different techniques and things with it. And because I initially was trying to do some watercolor with the stencil, I kind of wanted that down quite firmly. And but in saying that, well, now I've got it down, you really can't get it off. So I've just stuck it to some deli paper. But that's the stencil that I used. And then the techniques that I started with is I started just to do some watercolors. So this is one that I had done. With this one here, I just took the Tombow and I traced along and just wrote Joy. And then once it was tacky, I took my Gilding flakes and then I just burnished them down. But the mistake that I made was I wasn't quite finished with the watercoloring, and so it just got really dull. It really got really dull. So, and I didn't really, it just looked too dark. I didn't like that effect. So I then did this one. And again, I was thinking, yeah, I'm not sure. So then I took the stencil and I traced it out. This one is in pencil because I wasn't quite sure. And this one is just in my Micron pen, because these are generally waterproof. You can watercolor over top of those. And then I made some flames. So that's when I decided that I wanted to go to my color pencils. So I got my Prismacolor pencils, which to me are my favorite pencils. They are very soft, so sometimes there's certain ones that are worse, like the Sunburst Yellow. But I just grabbed some cream, a jasmine, the canary yellow, which one's this one? Lemon yellow, just Scarlet Lake, Crimson Lake, Sunburst Yellow, which is one of my favorites, and orange. So I just got those, and then I just started coloring so that I had some flames. So I did color one, which I don't have here, but it had the word joy. But when I for my next step, what I did is I took the stencil again and I just traced the word joy. And how I did that was I took some Sizzix, it doesn't matter, just double-sided adhesive, and I cut a piece that would fit the word joy. So I cut that, just cut a hunk off it, and I peeled it off and I stuck it down onto my cardstock. And then I traced out the word joy. And then I took my precision knife and scissors and I cut out the word joy. So once I had done that, then I had another sticky off side that I could peel off, and I took the word joy and I made a number of joys. So with this one here, which I didn't really like the effect because as you can see on camera, sort of the colors I used, it blends in too much. But with this technique here, I just took my Versamark and pounced on the word, and then I just used my embossing powder with my heat tool and I just embossed it. And I think I did it 3 times, which is why you can't really see, but it is really glossy and it's raised a little bit. And I really like that effect. I just probably wouldn't use the orangey color. And I didn't want to go with just gold because I had used the glitter. So this one here is the same effect. Or not the same effect, but the same word, but it's really glittery. So I just used some glitter from Michael's, and the one that I used for this one is gold, was just gold. And I really love that because I think that stands out quite well. And then, so for the next technique, I just used my gilding flakes again, and I burnished down the joy, and I think I liked that effect the best. So I thought maybe I would do that, just do one now, and then, so with this here, you got to be really careful with gilding flakes because if you sneeze, you're done for because they just fly everywhere. So how I'm going to do it is I have a stiff brush, and then I'm just going to take the backing off of that. So, and then I'm just going to take some flakes and get them stuck down. And then once they're down, I got these just on Amazon, my flakes. I can link the description. The one that I got had, I think you got 3 colors. You got the gold, like a rose gold, and a silver, I think. And they're pretty good flakes. There's nice big chunks there, but there's smaller bits too. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. I love the gold effect. That's a massive piece there. And as you can see with this tape, it really holds. It really holds well. Okay, and then just need a little piece up there. Okay, so then I just take the lid back on that. I take my brush and then I just start scrubbing away, not too much force or I might rip my paper. Okay, and then you just kind of work at it, pouncing that down. And you can do this with any shape. I like the double-sided tape because it really holds that gilding flake, but you could again do it with the Tombow glue. You can do it with heat and stick, which is I'm sure I think Tim Holtz does a type of heat and stick. Stampin' Up! Did. I'm not sure if they still do. and you just work at it until you get it all burnished down. And I really love that effect. I'm just going gently on the sides just to burnish down any that's kind of stuck to the side there. Putting a little bit more pressure there now, just being careful that I'm not going to rip my word. The word joy. Find joy in the ordinary. So then I keep this little container that I just put the odd bits in. I could put it back in the other container, but it's sometimes hard. And then if you get static on it, it just doesn't want to go where you want it to go. Okay, so I'm just going to finish burnishing that down. So with today's prompt, which was spark, I kind of initially, when I was thinking about just doing a junk journal, I was thinking, well, how do you represent kind of spark? And then I kind of took it more abstractly, of course, and just thought about sparking my creativity. And then that's when I kind of thought, use your imagination. Use this to spark your imagination. So that's when I thought, I'm going to use this as Junk Journal July gratitude. And just think about, or not necessarily gratitude, but affirmations. Think about things that I want to positively reinforce or keep my mind focused on the positive, or getting through a difficult day some days. And sometimes if you have an affirmation that you can focus on, then when your mind drifts to unpleasant things, you can pull yourself back to your affirmation. Okay, I think I got that burnished down. So once I had created my little word joy, when I had traced it on and I went back to overlay it, I could kind of see that what I had cut out didn't exactly match the stencil, which of course, probably wouldn't. So that's when I thought about, well, what if I just trace it again, but just don't trace the joy? So that's what I did. And then last evening in preparation, I just sat and did some coloring while I was watching television. And I thought, well, let's work with this. So I wanted to put that on day one. It's a little bit big, so I am going to cut it down just a bit. Okay, and do I want as much border around there? I think I do, because my idea is that I'm going to use this as a little journal spot. So later today, this evening, because that's when I usually have my quiet time, is in the evening, with work and everything and all the projects I've been trying to get done. I'm on prednisone right now for my arthritis, and it was so bad here. Oh, I guess I'm on my last week now, so, but I could hardly get around the house. That's how bad my arthritis was. And then since I've been on the prednisone, I'm just getting stuff done because I only have like another week. And once I'm off the prednisone, I haven't been on prednisone for years now. It's been like probably 4 years since I've been on prednisone, but occasionally I need to do that, and I just need to get stuff done. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to put that, I'm going to hinge that, and then I'll have a little place to put some journaling. One thing I did want to do though is on this one here, I went and I found the definition of joy, and I thought I would write it on the back here and meditate over joy. as a noun, meaning the expression of such emotion, gaiety, or 2, a state of happiness or felicity, and that's bliss, or 3, a source or cause of delight. And then what I might do is I often just do a little doodling around the edge of things. And then at the bottom of the flip out, or the little image here, I can maybe think about a time when I experienced, a lot of joy. Maybe an example. Okay, so then, sorry if my head was in the way there. Right, so then that would flip out, and then I'd have that. So then I just needed to decide which joy I wanted to use. And I can't quite decide between that joy and the blingy joy. I think for me, flipping through, I think that joy kind of stands out a little bit better. So I think I'll use this one, but I just want to burnish this a little bit more so it's kind of a bit more gilded. And you can always layer more on top of it if you needed to. You just might need to put a little bit more stickiness down. So with the spark, this kind of gave me the idea of the fire. So that was more of a literal meaning. Let's ignite the spark of creativity, of imagination, whatever you think you need ignited right now. I'll tell you one thing I need ignited, and that's sticking to my diet. So let me see if that's going like that. That'll line up there. So I just need to make a mark just to cut this off, kind of there. So that can go right on there. Yeah, and I really like that. So I'm just going to tack that down with just some glue. And I thought that would just give you a couple ideas if you wanted to add a little something more dimensional, a little bit more interest. Awesome. Oh, I really like how that's turned out. Let's feel the joy. So I just haven't decided how I'm going to stick that down. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of washi, but you know what? Something I never hardly use in my journals. I'm just going to use tape because I like that it's clear. Except I got my fingerprints all over it. And I'm gonna kind of put that down in the middle. And then I want it right about there. All right, so we've got that kind of hinged down. There I can write some more there, and I can write a little blurb underneath it of my thoughts for today. It'd be a little secret spot where I could write something. But then I wanted my affirmation. So I kind of looked around online and whatnot, and the affirmation that I chose for today is I ignite the spark of my heart with gratitude. And I thought that really, I think I might cut that there, really kind of says what I wanted to say for today. So I ignite the spark, and I want them kind of wonky, of my heart with gratitude. So I'm liking that. So let's get that down. I ignite the spark. So today, as I'm going about my day, I have a little, I'm thinking I have a little chalkboard in the kitchen, living room area. So I'm thinking that I'll write the day's gratitude, or not gratitude, affirmation on the board in the morning, so then I'll see it throughout the day. Right, so I ignite the spark of my heart with gratitude. And I could do further embellishing of this page, which I might do throughout today, but I just wanted to get it done. So I was really happy with that. I could have done some washi around the edges. There's a lot more I could have done with it, but as a starter, I thought that was good for today. The other thing I wanted to do just before I go is I wanted to just give a shout out for some of my Happy Mail. So I received a postcard, which I just love, from Joy, and she's put little Chester there and says, "A happy memory is a joy forever." Oh my goodness, isn't that so along the theme for today? And that wasn't even planned out. Oh my God, I love it. Wonder if I could put that in my, I think I'm going to make a little pocket here to put my prompts and to put some little things. And if I had have thought about it, I could have made, I could do a little side tuck. But then I like to see my prompt. Anyways, maybe I'll put this in my garden journal, my other junk journal. That's what I'll do. And I'm actually going to put a little note on the back of how serendipity it was that I actually talked about that today. So, and the other junk mail that I got was from Melanie. Thanks so much, Melanie. She sent me some stamps. There was 3 stamp sets here, and 4, as well as some postage material, which I love, and a little note, which I'm going to put that in my journal. And then, as I do sometimes, I take my stamp sets and I stamp them onto just some cardstock, and then I put them in a little A5 binder that I have, and then sometimes it's easier to flip through that to see if there's an image or something that I would like to use. But I was playing, and I haven't done cards for a while, and my background is kind of card making and what have you, so I took the stamps and I made some little cards. These are 5 by about 3.5. So I made 4 cards, 4 each of 4 cards, and I did use, the sentiments came from a different stamp sets. There wasn't much sentiments there, but so Let the Sun Shine In, and that was from one of the stamp set. I love the little butterfly. And then Sending Positive Thoughts and Feel Good Wishes. thinking of you, which I thought was cute, and a big thank you. So I'm going to send out a set of these to Melanie. Thank you so much, Melanie. And then I'm going to send another couple sets out in some happy mail. So if I have your address and you are a regular, leaving comments and whatnot, just going to look back on some of the other videos I've got up and whatnot, then you may get a happy surprise in your mail. So thank you so much, Melanie, and I hope you enjoy your little card set that you can re-gift and send off. But until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and well, and just think about igniting the spark of your heart with gratitude today. Bye for now.